All right guys, so what we're gonna go over today is the clean, and usually people have big mobility restrictions with the clean and also technique flaws. So we're gonna run you guys through a whole mobility sequence, a whole technique sequence, and we're gonna try and put it all together at the end and see how far we can progress you guys. I know some of you have been working on it already, so you guys might be doing full cleans. Everyone else might be doing variations of that. So the first thing we're gonna do is work on your ankle mobility. So there's usually like 3 things people have trouble with their cleans. It's gonna be ankle mobility, it's gonna be mobility in their front rack position, and then it's gonna be keeping a stable midline through the whole movement. The first thing we're gonna do is just an ankle mobilization. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try and get that band right down into the crease of my ankle. Okay, that's gonna distract the joint, allow me to get a little bit more mobility in there. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna take a big step forward. So I'm gonna jam that band forward. If you can't do that in one step, you can kind of inch your foot forward a little bit until you feel a lot of tension pulling your ankle back, okay? From here, I'm gonna kneel down like I'm kind of just in a lunge. And then I'm gonna drive my knee as far forward as I can while keeping my heel on the ground. And then I'm gonna rotate out and come back, okay? So I'm gonna drive that knee as far forward as I can while maintaining my heel on the ground, rotate out, and come back to 90 degrees here.
And heel on the ground.
For everyone who's left over, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my hand on the ground, spread my fingers out nice and wide, okay? My whole hand is on the ground. Then I'm gonna be grabbing my wrist at the bottom and rotating in, getting a really good stretch in there. I'm gonna do that maybe 2 times each position and work my way up my whole forearm. So I'm getting a really, really good stretch through my whole wrist. And I'm gonna maybe work 3 or 4 positions on the way up. So right at the bottom, a little bit higher, and then right below my joint here, okay? So 2 times with the rotation, 4 different positions on your wrist. Next one we're gonna do is kind of for your tricep and also for your lats at the same time. So this one's more of just like an all-encompassing stretch. And you'll feel it in spots that are tight for you. It might not be the same for everyone. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stand on a band, I'm gonna grab it palm up, okay? Then from here, I'm pointing my elbow up to the ceiling, standing back down. And what I wanna do is keep my rib cage down and then push my elbow up and back, okay? So what I wanna do, always rib cage down, I'm fighting to push that elbow up and back, and I'll get a good stretch right down the side here, all right? So everyone grab a band. You can grab one of the blue bands, but the orange ones will work best. There you go, you're pretty tight. All right. So try and keep your eyes out. Down. Bug. So the dead bug is a really good core stability exercise, and it's gonna translate really well to your front squat. So all you're gonna do, you're gonna lie on the ground as if you are a bug that has died.
Or dying.
Or dying, yeah. If you're still moving, you're gonna have your hands straight up to the ceiling, and then what I want is your feet in your approximate front squat position. So you don't want to be in too close, and you don't want to be way out here like this. From here, what I'm doing is I'm pivoting around my hip. I'm not flexing my knee at all or extending like that, okay? So what it's gonna look like is I'm just lowering down, tapping the ground with my heels, and raising back up. So as I go down, I'm gonna breathe in. As I come back up, I'm gonna breathe out. Always making sure that this remains stable, okay? So just do 10 of those. We'll run through those nice and quick, and then we'll see how your front squats look. So when you're doing this, a lot of times people are always talking about stretch your hip flexors, which is great, but at the same time, a lot of people have really weak hip flexors. So before you squat, if you want to get into a deeper front squat position or back squat position, it's a good idea to activate your hip flexors a little bit beforehand. So for Brandon, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get him to push into my hand or into my arm with his arms, and when he comes back to the top position, he's going to push into my arm with his legs, okay? So he's going to lower down, push into my arm, good, push, push, push. When you get to the top, push as hard as you can with your legs into me. Good. And then go back down and up. Really, really push hard. Good. Back down and up. Really nice. Push, push, push. And back down. Come back up. Push. Good. And lower. Back up. Really, really push. Good. And back down. And one more time. Come back up. Good. Next one we're gonna do that same thing, except we're gonna go one leg at a time. So we're gonna learn to coordinate his core stability with unilateral movement of his legs. So what that'll look like is, Brandon's gonna do the exact same thing, except he's gonna go with his right leg down first, and at the same time, he's gonna be pushing into me with his left leg. Okay, so come all the way up, push into me with your left leg, and then raise and lower that right leg. Good, really push, push, push. There you go. There you go. One more time after this, good. Good, let's do the other side, same deal. Do it 5 times, nice and slow, make sure you're breathing. There you go. Good, all right. So now what I want you to do, Brandon, just give us a couple body weight squats and let us know how that feels. Alright? Yeah. All through here. Yeah.
How do you feel all through there, though?
I feel great. So what you'll notice is you'll feel great all through there. For cleans, we're gonna start with, I don't know, we're gonna start with Tatiana.
Start with bows. Awesome.
Cool.
Good clean grip. Let extend. You're gonna hinge at the hips. Flat back, big chest. Stand right back up. Right above the knee. Right back up. You got 5 of those. After that, going into the shrug, fold, going to extend vertically, extend the bow, stand up straight.
So what do you think you want to do when you're finishing your shrug? Like where should your hips be? What should your knees be doing for these guys?
So on your toes, everything is vertical. You want to remain vertical. This is the biggest part when you're pulling. If you don't get your hips into it, you're going to lose all your power in your legs. So your clean is going to go forward, go backward, you're going to miss completely.
Yeah. So basically, when you guys get to that finished position, like she said, onto your toes, you want to make sure your quads are squeezed and your butt is squeezed as well. A lot of times people will, let's say, extend at their hips, but they will miss extension at their knees. A lot of people will maybe extend at the knees and then forget to extend fully at the hips. So when you get to that final position, you should have flexion at your ankles, you should have extension at your knees, and extension at your hips all at the same time as you finish with your shrug, okay? So every time, squeeze your quads, squeeze your butt, and shrug. Cool? Now what's the last one?
Muscle cleaning. So completely vertical, there's no drop underneath, there's no huge push. Just right here. If you have the flexibility to get here, awesome. If not, we'll work on it. We've got 5 of those, so 5 of everything.
So Brandon has been working on his clean in preparation for the challenge for the last little while right now, and it's gone from being absolutely terrible, like the worst thing I've ever seen in my life, to halfway decent. So what we're gonna do, Brandon's gonna try and work up to a PR today, and we'll see how he does. Keep that bar close.
Beast right now. That's wild. You need
Hold it
some
up.
energy and some brute force up in here. Give me a big hug. I didn't see you in a while.
I know, man.
It's good to see you busting it up right now.
Get ready for the challenge.
Cool. How much is that?
I don't know. I don't count kilos.
Okay, well, what is it in the challenge? What are we playing with in the challenge? What weight? That's 225?
That's 225.
So you gotta do that for reps. You gotta do that for reps. Has he cleaned it once yet?
This?
Yeah. Oh, you better do it, baby. Good. Now put more weight on the bar.